Hey sis! From coast to coast, we're bridging the gap between the cisgender and transgender community, creating meaningful dialogue and space to learn and grow.
Join us as we connect with our community, break down tough conversations, and get comfortable being better humans.
I really hope that people that, are a little more ignorant might watch the film and maybe learn something from it, that it does come down to love and family, and that's all that really matters. So, I hope maybe we'll change some people, but could be wishful thinking, who knows?
Welcome to another podcast episode of Hey Sis. Today is part 2 of our celebration of the Atlantic-produced film Dawn, Her Dad and the Tractor. Set on a Nova Scotia dairy farm, John Andrew, played by Rob Wells, has just lost his wife Miranda to cancer. The event sparks a reunion with John's child, who returns home to the farm after having transitioned. The journey begins around Dawn, played by Maya V. Henry, and her dad trying to rebuild a relationship around understanding, acceptance, and love.
So from Trailer Park Boys to Tractors, we are joined by actor Rob Wells, who uses he, him pronouns and plays Maya's dad in the film. We're also joined by Breton Lalama, who uses he, they pronouns and plays Dawn's fast friend and ally in the film. As a queer person living in a rural community, Banu's character brings light and a sense of space to balance the tension around Dawn's homecoming. You may also know Breton from playing 41 people, yes, 41 people as the entire cast of Fully Committed, which recently ran at the Neptune Theater. Welcome to the show, Rob and Breton.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you.
So the film premiered this fall at Finn Atlantic Film Festival. What was it like being reunited with the cast and the creators of Dawn, Her Dad and the Tractor? Rob?
It was pretty great. It was really nice to see everybody, and the response was really, really fantastic. And yeah, it was just a wonderful night overall.
How long had it been since you'd seen since you'd all been together?
The cast?
Yeah.
I hadn't really seen the cast since, most of them anyway, since filming.
So it's been like well over a year, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah, almost a year exactly, actually.
And Breton, tell us, I feel like you're going to say you didn't get a chance to see everybody, or maybe you dipped in and dipped out because what was happening at the Neptune at the time?
Yeah, well, it was my opening night, so I was not there, but I did get the chance to see it in Inside Out in Toronto while I was filming some stuff in Toronto. It was there in a festival there, so I did see it then. But yes, I did not see it with everyone.
And you were missed.
Yeah, I'm seeing Rob's face for the first time right now.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so nice because you get so tight, don't you, when you're working on those kind of films? Like, how long did it take to shoot the film?
Unfortunately, we didn't have nearly enough days. I think it was 18, maybe. I can't even remember exactly, but yeah, definitely not enough.
It was not a long shoot.
That is so short. I'm blown away actually that you covered so much territory and content in 18
Yeah, probably really long days though for you folks, eh?
Yeah, fairly long day. I mean, they went fast, but just, yeah, I wish we would have had more time, but that was the nature of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the way it goes, isn't it?
Small budget films, they're fun, but they're hard.
Yeah. And especially you guys are tackling COVID too on top of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
It was crazy.
And maritime weather, like you're in the middle of shooting one
Yep.
and the sky changes and like, okay, what do we do now?
Right.
So Breton in particular, so a line in the movie that jumped out to us is when you're introducing Dawn first to your boss at the cafe, and he says, "Hey man," and you jump in kind of with a smile and you're like, oh, he calls everyone man. Kind of backtracking to this, how significant is that particular line to you, or were there any lines in particular that you felt kind of really represented the queer community in the film, or how is the importance of kind of those situations in the entire story?
Yeah, to me personally, I'm not very precious with language like that. So as a person, so for me personally, that is not like man or dude or guys or whatever. None of those things are things I even think of. I don't think of gender terminology as being offensive. I think it absolutely can be to some trans people or to some people in general, but to me it would be a choice to be offended by that, and I'm not. So that didn't really, we talked about it, obviously, the line and what was happening there, just especially as an actor, you do want to track that, especially in this kind of film. But yeah, for me, I would do that if with my trans femme friends who are uncomfortable or worried, especially about how people are seeing them in that situation. Absolutely, I think it's just a way of saying, "Don't worry, we got you. We see you. You're seen here." But in general, I can't, to be honest with you, off the top of my head, think of any particular. Yeah, there's one line actually where I'm sitting in the back of a car with Richie, who plays my boss, and Maya, and then in the front are what character names versus people names. Amy and Reed are in the front.
Yep.
And someone says something about dicks, and I say, "That's tough on dicks."
Yes, I love that. I did. I love that line. I thought that was it was very tongue in cheek and like funny, and because it's hard to kind of like approach sometimes those situations with humor, and going back to the other line too, I just think it just showed your sensitivity that, you know, you just kind of jumped in and went, "Oh yeah, he says everybody that, you know, calls everybody that," and then he got on with it. I thought it was nice because language is hard that way. I think even in our training, we'll say "you guys" a lot, won't we, Isaac? And
I'm very bad at it. And I say too, like, this is probably a little bit too much of a justification, but just growing up in Nova Scotia too, like everyone says guys, like it is very like blanket term for everyone. And, you know, as like trans person, I'm like, probably really shouldn't be saying that as much as I do, but I blame rural roots. But yeah, and that I love the little moments like that, kind of as Cynthia said, that the little kind of like language humor that really relates back to kind of rural community and small town communities that people maybe from urban areas might not really understand. So yeah, it was really nice.
Rob, so how closely do you relate to John Andrews? Like, were there moments during the filming where you felt maybe your own experiences or emotions might have matched those of John in the reaction to Don coming home?
I mean, I tried to put myself into that character as much as I could. It was basically Shelley's story, and you know, Shelley is a trans parent, and it was her vision, her story, and she tried to coach me as much as she could about, you know, what her experience was like, and I guess I tried to draw from that as much as I could. So.
Yeah, so having played Ricky for like 12 seasons in Trailer Park Boys, like was it a big leap then for you to kind of sink into to playing the role of Don's dad? And did you find like it was a big learning curve in the sense of often being aware around gender identity and trans issues is not on your radar? A lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to it, so don't really understand.
And it's definitely a completely different character, which I was excited about. Just the chance to do something totally different was great, and I've been wanting to do that for a while. And yeah, I guess just drawing from Shelley and from Shelley's experience that's where, you know, I drew for most of the character. I guess we definitely talked a lot about it. We did the short film Pearls before that, and that was a good start, I guess, to learning what the character should be like and what Shelley wanted from the character. I had a sort of a vision of the character, and then Shelley definitely tweaked it quite a bit, and so everything I brought to the table, you know, some of it stayed, but she tweaked it a lot. No, she was a great director, and she definitely knew what she wanted for John Andrew, and she was very helpful, to say the least.
I love that, because I was curious about what it would be like going from like working as a cast together on the TV series to her directing you in a film in this position, and even like how much you were aware while shooting Trailer Park Boys that she was a parent of a trans kid.
Yeah, we were definitely aware of it, and you know, we try to be very sensitive to everything she was going through at the time, and it was a process for her. And I thought we were all very supportive, and I mean, we're all very tight. I guess we're almost like a family as well. So, you know, we all went through it together, and it was actually quite an amazing experience. We're all very close with her son T now too, which is great.
Oh, that's amazing. I was going to ask how your fans reacted to your part in the film, or do you think that this film would be on fans from Trailer Park Boys? Like, would it be on their radar? Do you think this is something they might watch?
I certainly hope so. I mean, I think it's a story that should hit home with everybody. I'm hoping, and it's just a great story of, being kind and family and love, and yeah, I hope everybody will give it a chance. And I think a lot of people can draw some very positive things from it. I haven't had a lot of feedback yet, but the little feedback I've had has been all positive, so
That's good
it's
to hear.
encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another question that I wanted to pose to you both as well, because we asked Shelley and Maya this question last time we spoke with them, but who would you kind of say the target demographic of the movie would be? Or maybe another way to frame it would be, who do you hope sees the movie? And maybe I'll point that to you, Rob, first, and then Breton, you can go.
Well, ideally, I hope pretty much anybody would watch the movie and and get something positive out of it. That would be my dream. I'm not sure. I don't think there's an actual target audience, but I really hope that people that are a little more ignorant might watch the film and maybe learn something from it. That it does come down to love and family, and that's all that really matters. So, I hope maybe we'll change some people, but could be wishful thinking. Who knows?
I think every conversation, and I think visibility is so important. That's why like a film
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need more of it. And I love that there were so many queer people that were cast in the roles of
So do I.
or cis people as well. It felt like there was a lot going on, even like with maybe some of the kids in the film.
No, it was great. And just, like you said, just giving trans actors and actresses just the opportunity, and just so that they're, accepted and respected. I think it's very important. And a lot of the cast and crew, there was a lot of LGBTQ. It was just people of color, and it was a woman's story, woman directed, women produced, and it was just a really positive experience.
Yeah, it makes you proud to be a Maritimer, like to have that, something like this.
Absolutely.
And I really hope that I think it would be great for it to be in schools too, like even the upper end of elementary school. I think it could be so powerful if teachers got on the radar for that. And maybe, when you come back and it re-releases in the winter time, maybe we do something to help target a few schools and get them involved. And
that'd be great.
Learning, through film, it's just, it can really reach sort of that age group that might be like, no, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Breton?
Yeah, I think that pretty much, like, I agree with everything Rob has just said there, and you guys, everyone here has just said. I think the good thing about it being this kind of a movie is it can appeal to perhaps, because we've got a lot of queer and trans indie films out there that are a little like maybe would not be family friendly, but are great for young people. So who are questioning or need to see representation, but to see this on a big, Nova Scotia screen, hopefully you get families and a demographic that is perhaps less accepting or less inclined to accept because they don't know, so they fear. Hopefully you get them seeing it too. But again, agree. I think it's a story for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to see how the antagonist kind of like how evolved through the film too. I watched it with my son, and at the end it was kind of like, oh, he got off. Like he got off. Did the police follow through? Like, did they, like, what just happened? He kind of got pushed out of the room. But there's a real essence to that, isn't there? Like it, often, there's not a lot of follow through. For people that are tormenting and transphobic and acting out in a transphobic way. I thought it was handled really well, because it kind of leaves it to your imagination on what that person is gonna, they've lost space, it seems, where they held a lot of space at the beginning of the film. They seem to lose that sort of respect from certain people around them. Even his dad, I think, who worked in the hardware store, kind of was more open in the end, and kind of like was disappointed in his kid's behavior. What do you think?
I think something I really like about that storyline, and this could also just, Taylor, who plays Marty, is a buddy of mine, and so maybe this is like more than meets the eye stuff, but I think Marty is another example of what happens when you're queer and forced to be closeted in a small town. I think Marty's bullying comes out of the fact that Marty is not secure in his sexuality or gender. And I actually really appreciate that character in particular, because I grew up in a town of 1,500 people. I think that's something you see a lot. And to me, there's no need, like, I didn't feel cheated by the story that there's no police or anything involved. I think it's really powerful to watch a community say no to that and yes to we're embracing this person and their truth versus this toxic version of that. Yeah.
I love that. No, that's
Same. Yeah.
really insightful. Thank you.
Breton, what would you say to kind of young or aspiring kind of queer young actors and actresses?
Oh, you put me on the spot for
I know, I'm sorry, it's a tough question.
All right.
Lay it on me, let's go.
No, okay. Hashtag live, laugh, love. No.
Put up on a sign. There you go.
Just be honest. That's a people thing. That just do it. Like, you're gonna, no matter who you are or what your identity is as a person, like if you're cis, if you're white, if you're mixed, whatever, like if people want to, they're gonna find a way to hurt you. And so don't let that stop you. If you're gonna get hurt anyway, you might as well get hurt, be happy in yourself. And also, if it comes down to like a working actor thing, if you have an agent or people in your life who are telling you that your coming out is going to stop you from working, break up with those people. They're not there for you. You can work as your authentic self, and you actually will work more once you come out as your authentic self, because then you're not going to do the double layers of acting. It's going to get a whole lot easier, and it's going to get actually fun. So just keep on going.
Honestly, words to live by. And to yourself, Rob, as well, you have any kind of suggestions?
I love what Breton said. Just be brave, I guess.
Rob, as a cisgender, like a white man, have you ever been in a situation where maybe, you needed to jump in and advocate for somebody, but you felt uncomfortable doing it? Or how would you approach those situations?
I have, yeah, unfortunately. But there's been a couple times in the industry where, people weren't treating people the way they should have. And I did jump in because I think it's important that, you have to stick up for everybody. And so it was an awkward night, but I was glad I did it. And unfortunately it turned a little physical, but it had to be done. And so it's a couple times now I've stepped in and just, I don't know, just felt like I had to.
It's amazing because so often that's hard to do in the moment. And then you find yourself like the next day you're kicking yourself and you're kind of going, oh, I wish I had just, in that moment.
Well, that's what it stemmed from for me, is there was an incident where I didn't, and it really, really bothered me. So the next couple times where the situation arose, I did jump in and felt good about it.
Good for you. I mean,
I appreciate hearing that too. Yeah. Like so many, I think more cis straight and white people need to talk about those uncomfortable moments that they have, like combating other people Absolutely. About discrimination, because it's such a difficult thing to talk about. No one wants to talk about it because it's hard.
Absolutely.
Because you're putting yourself in an uncomfortable position. But no, I really value you sharing that with us.
And it happens all the time because, there's not a lot of education around for gender identity. And I've even found, like, when I'm advocating for my son, like being gaslit by school, principals, advocators, that, they're like, well, we have these policies, and you trust that they know. And you're sitting there as a parent, like in that moment going, I feel really uncomfortable about what you're telling me. It doesn't feel right, but you're in this position of power, so you must know what you're talking about, only to go back later and go, no, they didn't have my kids back at all. They weren't supporting, they were taking the low road and the easy road. And so it is really about the more people that on the cis side that can advocate and stand up, and it's empowering.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
Rob's the best at that. I can definitely vouch for that.
Maybe
very good at that.
I'm still learning.
Maybe
I have to admit, I'm still learning too. So the film was a great experience for me, and you
Maybe
know,
we'll weave
I
that
think
into
we
the
all need to learn a little more. What's that, sorry?
Sorry, maybe they'll weave that, something along that lines into the Trailer Park Boys in an upcoming series. Could be really amazing.
Well, I mean, that's one thing, even from the beginning with Trailer Park Boys, you strip all the craziness away. It does come down to family and love. And, even in the trailer park, everybody's always been equal, and there's nobody that's not equal, I guess. And that was always very important to us, even early on. So, I mean, Randy and Mr. Leahy were one of the first television couples that were openly gay, I believe, and that was back in the early 2000s. So,
Right. That's that's right. Huh. What are you on to now, both of you? What's your next steps in your career?
at the moment, I'm back with the trailer park thing. We're actually writing a movie and doing some editing for another series that we shot that was supposed to be done in March, but COVID put us behind. So working on that, and I'm just finishing a screenplay that I'm writing on my own as well. Something I've been picking away at for 15 years, and I finally, with COVID, got a chance to finish it up. So that felt good.
COVID has been positive for some, in that way, sometimes a little bit of that creative.
It's about the only positivity, but
yeah. We take what we can get these days, that's for sure.
That's right.
That's awesome to hear, though.
Breton, how do you follow up what you did at the Neptune, or have you even recovered from that? Or
I'm still doing it. I have I have 7 shows left this week. I have Slasher, which I filmed during COVID, which has come out, but it's a series, so that comes out on October 4th in Canada. I play a non-binary kid on that show, which is the first trans character in the anthology. So there's that. Why the Last Man is also out right now. I play a trans dude who is an ex-con in that show. You can watch it on Hulu and Disney FX. It's a really great show about, based on the comic strips, Why the Last Man. So basically, every living thing with a Y chromosome has died, but the writers and the showrunners are all trans people and queer people, and so they've revamped the 2000s comic strip to really focus on not everyone with a Y chromosome was a man, and introduce all these trans characters. So it was really, check that show out. I got my play about the apocalypse and trans people going up at Groundswell, which is a theater festival in Toronto, and you can catch it online in November at Nightwood.
Well, thank you so much, I think, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Everyone, have a great day.
You too.
All right. Take care, folks.
Nice to see you.
That's all the time we have today, folks. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Hey Sis.
The conversation doesn't have to stop here, though. If you would like to get in touch with us to ask us a question or share your story on a future episode, you can email us at connect@simplygoodform.com or visit us on our website at www.heysis.com.